President, Steve VanSlooten. Steve, would you like to address the delegates?
Well, good evening, everybody. I'd like to start off first by welcoming Julian back. It's been a long time, brother. Good to see you. And to the candidates, I want to apologize. I got here a little bit late. Flew in from D.C. this morning. Actually, I left this morning from D.C. Mike and I were both there. As luck would have it, the plane was late, so I missed my flight out of Detroit to Grand Rapids, so I got home late, so I hurried to get here, but I got here a little late. So I didn't get to hear anybody give the speech, but I want to wish everybody luck in their elections. I know elections are good and bad at the same time. You hate to make some of the decisions you got to make, but you'll make the right ones. So wish everybody luck, and when the elections are over, remember, we still have to be one. So, good luck to everybody. Right to work. You know, it's a real deceiving slogan. Most people don't understand it, don't understand what it does, don't understand how it affects the states where they have it. Because I had a layover a little bit longer than what I expected, I was able to do a little bit of checking around on some things, and statistically, in a right-to-work state, if you look at the states that are right to work, they say Michigan is the 24th state. The last 4 states to go right to work, Iowa went right to work in the mid-80s. Then there was Oklahoma. They did a referendum. I think they went right to work in 2002. Then Illinois, Indiana went right to work in 2011, and now Michigan. The other 20 states were 1955 and before. So pretty much when they say the 24th state, it makes it sound like a whole bunch of states just thought, hey, this is a hell of a good idea, let's do this. Well, that's bullshit. Most of them were even before it was legal to have a right to work law. Went right to work. You're talking 30s and 40s. There's nobody in the, I shouldn't say nobody, there's probably a few people in the workforce that started working in the 50s and I don't know what the 40s, but. So there's not a lot of statistics on how that affects, but what there are statistics on, in right-to-work states, the average union membership of those that are in the bargaining unit is 82%. In non-right-to-work states, because you can have back objectors, the average union membership is 91%. In Michigan, prior to right to work, it's not in effect yet, it's 95%, 95 point something percent. So, the bad news is it's right to work. There's not a lot of statistics out there on how far it's going to drop when it first goes in, because most of the states, like I said, that are right to work, have been right to work for so long they don't know any different. And a lot of those unions organized in a right to work state, so they had the you-know-whats to say, we're sick of this shit, we want our voice in the workplace, and they voted to go union, so the membership is high. Some of the things they have to do different, though, because I've done bargaining in a couple of right-to-work states, is their communications might be a little bit different than in a non-right-to-work state. And I'm not saying that we do a bad job of communicating, but we can always do better. And one of the things I know, like Harold Gigerson, anyone that's met Harold Gigerson is going to remember him. He's out of Wyoming, great guy. He taught me how to use the F word in more ways than I thought I ever could learn, but he knows how to use it. A lot of the stuff that they do in Local 127 in Wyoming is, I mean, they really get input from their members before they make a lot of the decisions that they make. Not that they don't piss off members, but at least the members know it's coming ahead of time and they talk about it. You might have to initiate newsletters within your local. Take the extra 10 minutes to stay after your shift. If you have an afternoon shift and you're on days, you might have to stay after and talk to those people a little bit more. keep them informed. You want to include them. You want to make them feel included, not excluded. Because if they feel like you don't give a shit about them, they're not going to give a shit about you, and they won't really realize what they're doing to the whole if they drop out, because our bargaining strength is lessened. You have dues deduction. The companies will know exactly how many members you have. They will know that. Gets below 50%, they can initiate a decert. The funny thing is, there's a county in Florida where the county did that. It got to like 42% union membership. The county initiated and got this bandwagon rolling for decertification. All the non-union people voted not to decertify. Why? Because they didn't want to pay dues, but they didn't want the county to be able to take shit away from them during the contract year. But they're a bunch of scab freeloaders, and that's a problem. And on that note, the other thing I checked into is there's a Supreme Court ruling that says that a non-member, you have a right to call a scab. And you can also post on the board union members. So what I would do is I think I would post one sheet of bargaining unit members. Scabs here, union members here. Because everyone should have a right to know who's a scab, who's the tick, who's the freeloader, and who's paying the freight. So that's another thing we can do. Now the right to work law goes into effect March 27th. Okay? Now there's a magic date to that, because any contract that's in effect prior to March 27th, whether it's by extension or it's just a natural expiration date, the right to work law doesn't affect it until it expires. So the consumer's contract, June 1 of 2005 for the OMC, or 2015 I should say, and the call center is August of 2015, so it won't affect that group until then. Now you've got Midland is coming up in 14, I think I was told tonight. Yeah. And then you've got Marysville gas and ethanol. So there's some other caveats. There are some things that Mike's got the national attorneys looking at on what you can do to even extend some of these things. If you get an extension on that contract prior to the 27th of March, that would be good until, if that extension was till 2020, it would be locked in until then. You can, it hasn't been tested yet, but they say it's legal, and so we're going to be looking into it, that you can get a union rights contract. So all you do is have a clause that says that if you work here, basically what's in your contract today, it says that you're going to be a requirement is to be a union member, you know, and you got to do everything, you can still exercise your back rights. You can get a contract of just that and have that go out. So there's a number of things that we're looking at. Pat has set up a meeting, invited me to go to it with him and whoever from the board he's having at it. And I think Mike's going to be at it on the 28th of this month to discuss just that. How are we going to address the right to work? Because we've had some discussion with consumers prior to the right to work law going in and told them about some of the pitfalls of what's going to happen in the workplace, or what could happen. I shouldn't say what's going to happen. What could happen about the problems in the workforce, where you've got the scabs that are working right next to someone who's paying the freight. I know they wouldn't want to put one of those assholes with me, but that's beside the point. So those are some things that we can do, and we're going to be working on a lot of those things. The last thing on right to, I don't want to limit myself, but one of the last things on right to work is there's an article my wife gave me when I got home from the airport to drop my suitcase off and change my clothes on right to work, and the 10 highest prosperity states. So the 10 states in the United States that have the highest prosperity. And in order, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Illinois, Delaware, Colorado, and California. The top 10, not one right-to-work state. Matter of fact, most of them have some of the highest cost of livings in the country. But they're the most prosperous states in the country, no right to work. So the bullshit that they're spreading, that this is going to bring in industry and Michigan is going to prosper because of that, the only ones that are going to prosper is, like Mike said, the Koch brothers, the Van Andels, the DeVosses, and all the people that have all the money they could ever imagine, that their great-great-great-great-grandfather, their grandkids' dogs will never have to miss a meal. They will never, ever have to miss a meal. They have so damn much money. They're the ones that are going to prosper. They're the ones that are going to make it all. So that's what right to work is going to do. It's going to weaken the middle class. It's going to drive wages down. Probably $3,000 on average per family is what right to work is going to do, that you're going to make less. So if they got 100 employees, easy math, $300,000 they get stuck in their pocket. You got 10,000 employees, 3 million. Or 30 million. I don't know, my Dutch math is off now. So, P4A. I don't know how many were at the P4A conference 4 years ago. This April, I think it would be 4 years ago. We had it in Las Vegas. We're doing the same thing again this year, only it's going to be in Chicago, Illinois. It's going to be at the Hilton Chicago on Michigan. It's going to be July 17, 18, and 19. We're going to have the same format as we had before. We're going to have sector-specific breakouts for electric, gas, water, call center, office, and professional. Last time we had nuclear also, but because most people that have nuclear in their locals also have the rest of electric and gas, so we're putting nuclear in with the electric group. Because only about 4 or 5 people went to the nuclear one by itself, so we thought it'd be better to just combine those and then run it together. So like I said, it's going to be July 17, 18, and 19 in Chicago. We've got a lot of people coming in for it. It's going to be, we think, a great conference. There's going to be other breakouts. We're going to have financial planning. We're going to have someone there to do financial planning. It's going to be a general breakout. We're going to have, oh, I wish I had my list with me. But we're going to have those 5 sectors, and then we're going to have at least 5, between 5 and 8 different general breakout sections. The ones that we think are going to be, that more people are going to want to go to, we're going to run multiple times, and some might only run once. You probably won't be able to get to all of them. The biggest complaint we got from the last P4A is we went too late at night with all the breakout sections. So I think we went to 5 or 5:30 last time. We're going to cut it back to 4 o'clock. So, but it should be a good time. We should have a lot of fun. Like I said, the other thing I want to touch on is training. For those in the gas groups, you know, the national, along with the council, we had Jamie Simon come in and put some curriculum together to do laundry, kitchen, and also refrigeration classes. We've got a meeting set up again with the company that same day. We're going to meet on right to work. We're going to meet on training on where we go from here, how we move that forward and transition. You know, are we going to do, how much training we're going to do within gas, and are we going to move it out to somewhere else? Are we even going to be doing gas training in the future? I think we are. From all the indications I got, the company's really happy with it. I want to thank all of the trainers from the bargaining unit that did the training. It was really nice. I got a lot of good comments about the training. It was nice to get it from the union instead of the company. They thought it was better. I don't know what comments you guys have heard. You've heard a lot more than I have, I'm sure, because they might come back and either, hopefully they liked it. If there's parts that they didn't like, I'd like to know what they are so we can change it. Because any training we do, if it's not beneficial to our members, we don't want to do it. We want to change it because it's got to be beneficial to our members, because our members are the ones, you're the ones that are out there every day, and if it's done wrong, there's not a lot of forgiveness in this industry, whether it be gas or electric. You could be here and gone in the second. So we want to make sure it's done right. With that, again, I wish everybody in the elections tomorrow good luck, and I look forward to working with everybody here. And thanks for listening, and I'll put round one on.